some weird stuff today, y'all. They was wanting me to go on the road. They was wanting to just stick this on here and be done with it. And I was like, that stuff right there is like bumpers or something. It's like foam, well, it's plastic, it's lightweight. But they was like, well, there you go. And I was like, I need something to go over top of it there, Chief. And they looked at me with this crazy look, and I was like, well, how about them pallets right there? I mean, just something better than nothing. So when you're doing that stuff, that, and make sure this stuff's tied down, and make sure it's good and tight. You ain't got no craziness going on. They got this stuff tied down, plus I got a strap. So just make sure it's tied down good. What's going on, y'all? It's too hot to be outside. I've been out there messing around with them straps, and kind of gives you an idea right there. See those steel beams that are holding this load up? I can't even hardly get my straps. They got hung up throwing my straps across. So I'm gonna have to let them get the stuff off so I get to the strap. So anyway. Yeah, see how crazy this load is? I'm glad old dude showed up, man. The second guy, he's pretty good on that thing. Without him, I don't think I'd be unloaded right now. What's going on, y'all? Cut this AC down just a touch. Thankfully I got AC. Man, I tell you, yesterday this thing quit working. Oh, it was blowing, but it was blowing hot air, and it's when it's 100 degrees outside, just blowing hot air, that's not good. So I'm up here, a little bit northeast of Atlanta. Actually up here around Athens, actually. Delivering this load, and it's hot, man. I tell you, I'm looking. Hopefully about 4 more weeks. I'm thinking about 4 more weeks of this. Usually around the first part of September, it starts. You can start. The edge of the heat is off. At least it's just a fire instead of a fire with gas on it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's about the middle part of the week. It was actually Tuesday. Left out last night. I went up to Nashville. I had a stop in Chattanooga. I had a stop in Nashville. I've kind of gotten to where they use me as like the workhorse, the mule, or whatever you want to call it. Stuff that nobody else either can do or don't want to do or whatever. They just usually send me to do it. I had to stop by a place and basically downtown Atlanta. I live an hour and a half south of Atlanta. And I've been, most of my life I've lived here. I've been driving over the road. I've delivered in Atlanta, all around Atlanta, but I've never been in that part of Atlanta, ever. So, anyway, it just is what it is, man. Had to pick up some stuff, and when you pick up stuff, you're the one that's responsible. You got to make sure that they do their part. They had these metal cages with this loose metal stuff inside of it, and that stuff one bounce, this stuff could have popped out, and that could have hit somebody's car, gone through somebody's windshield, it could have killed somebody. Well, that's going to be on you. So I had to put a couple pallets over it, to kind of, but that way I could put a strap over top of that, and that way it kind of holds it in there. So I tell you, man. Well, I got some. I didn't get that piece of equipment last weekend. Well, not this past weekend, but the weekend before that. It ended up being something that was not what I thought it was. I need that, but I need it in another way. Let's put it that way. But it wasn't what it was. That's why it was such a good price on it. I thought that this piece of equipment was several $1,000s cheaper than what it should have been, and when I saw it, I saw why. So, but either way, I felt in my spirit, it's like the Lord was trying to tell me, Brian, just be patient. And I've prayed for patience, and I mentioned that last Wednesday night, and our men's group actually made it to church last Wednesday night, and they said, somebody said, well, what can we pray for y'all for this week? And I said, patience. Somebody said, well, that's what you pray for, because when you ask for patience, he's going to give you tribulation, which I've experienced, and which is going to knock you down, and it's kind of like lifting weights. When you do bench press or whatever, you do hammer curls or whatever, you're tearing your muscles apart. But eventually you're breaking your muscles down to build them back up, and that's what the Lord's doing. I've asked for patience, and all these things just it's like he gave out the enemy a green light. Throw these things at him, and I got thrown some stuff, and and of course I kind of lost control, and I have to ask the Lord to forgive me. I have to ask the Lord to forgive me every day, because I just don't. I'm not a patient person. Anyway, but I felt in my spirit, Brian, be patient, and I've really asked the Lord to help me with this, and I feel like He is, and I was talking to my friend last weekend. He told me, be patient. He told me this past weekend, just be patient, man. You're not in a sprint. I've got my LLC, I've got my bank account, I've got all my stuff that I need as far as the legal end of my business. The only thing I hadn't done is gotten the insurance. I was kind of hoping I talked to a guy last week, and he was on vacation. He was supposed to call me back sometime this week. I'm going to give him till, if I hadn't heard from him by tomorrow morning, I'm going to call him tomorrow afternoon. And, he's supposed to kind of we're supposed to go over kind of which direction I should go as far as the insurance. I was telling him, about what I'm going to be doing and that type of thing. And I'm probably going to start buying some stuff this weekend. That's what we talked about this weekend. Me and my friend, we was talking about, we need to start I've been waiting to get the big stuff, and he told me, he said, just be patient on that. Be patient on that, but let's start getting some of this small stuff. That way you got something physical, and we can start putting this thing together. And I said, okay, I'll do that. I thought about doing that, but I just didn't. I was like, no, I need to really focus on this. And so he's helping me out, and I tell you what, man, to have a friend like that, you're blessed. You're very blessed if you got a friend like that, and I am. So, anyway, when I get this thing started and get it off the ground, and we're actually working at this, I'll make a presentation, and I'll show how as far as my recipe for getting this business off the ground and what I had to do. It may not be the correct recipe. It may not be the recipe that people more successful have used, but it's the recipe that I use. Okay, and I'll do that because I asked around, and all I kept getting was, I don't know anybody that's really starting to start a business from the ground up, but I know people who have their own businesses. And I'm like, so anyway, it's hot down here, man. I'm telling you, this is hot. I'll be ready for some cooler weather. You know, just any time now. We was talking about that over the weekend too. Used to, what I thought was cold down here, after the winters I've experienced the last couple of years, being up in Montana and Sioux City, Iowa, and all them places, South Dakota and all that, I tell you, man, winter down here ain't really that bad. so I think I can deal with it, you know. But anyway, that's really the update. They you know, they're kind of getting unloaded now. But I just want to give y'all a quick update, you know, about that. I'll give y'all, like I said, when I'm probably about a month, probably 2 months. I was thinking I was going to start, which I could. I could have everything I need to get started by the end of August, but it wouldn't be the way I want to do it, you know. And I've taken the time to do all this other stuff and be diligent. I might as well be patient and do it the right way. Just like he said, we're not in a sprint, you know. And I've already got my job, so it's not like I got to do this right now. So I want to get it done. I want to get started as quick as possible. So you know, I want to get this thing going. So anyway, but I'll give y'all more updates and show y'all once I get it going, and give y'all the name of it and show y'all how I got going. So anyway, I hope y'all having a good day. They're using these two skid steers out here to get me unloaded, and it's gonna take a while. I might even have to do my 10-hour break here. They're not in a big hurry. Well, they got this loads on here. It's all crazy how they got this thing loaded. It's probably gonna take them the rest of the day to unload this truck. So anyway, I hope y'all have a good day. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you on the next one. That'll be good. See you. I just wanted to add one more thing. We use different types of machinery to unload this stuff. I showed that one video where I had that forklift on the back. I had delivery last Wednesday and last Thursday, and I actually went to North Carolina. I got DOT'd in North Carolina by a U.S. DOT officer, which there was two of them. They were training up there. One of them said he had a blue jumpsuit on. I'll see if I can throw a picture in there for you. It said FMCSA. The other guy had a thing that said U.S. DOT. And I mean, I've been scrutinized by DOT before. I've never been scrutinized by somebody like this guy. I mean, he was, you know, I was, you know, doing like I normally do. Not volunteering any information, but I was not being disrespectful. I was, you know, if he asked me a question, and I gave him that answer. You know, I don't sit there and, where you coming from? From Charlotte, and I was going towards like Wilmington type thing. You know, where you coming from? Charlotte. I don't say, oh yeah, man, I was coming from Charlotte, and I'm headed to Wilmington, and I got to go here, and I got to go there, and I got to go this, that, the other, and man, I used to know a guy that used to work in here, man, and I don't know all that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're listening to you. The more you talk, you can talk yourself into a ticket. You can talk yourself into an out of service. You can talk yourself into getting yourself into some trouble. Just, you know, if they ask you a question, answer that question. Give them the direct answer, and that's it. Don't sit there and try to have a conversation with them, because they're not out there trying to be your friend at all. So just answer the question and get going about your business, you know. But I actually caught him, you know, where he didn't really know what he was talking about. I actually caught him. So, you know, he's got this USDOT thing on, and he's trying to be, you know, a certain way, and I actually caught him. I mean, he actually said it, you know. Anyway, but yeah, we use different types of machinery. That machine I used last week was the best one I've used since I've been here, and I mean that thing would fly. Now, one I used that day in my last video, there was a cylinder. It was blowing hydraulic fluid out from underneath the lift, and I just thanked to the good Lord that it didn't. That I was able to get it back on the lift. Because I was down in Florida, and if I couldn't have got it back, I was very close to not getting it back on there. It about leaked all the fluid out. And, you know, they got it fixed now. They got it fixed, but it's still leaking. And, but I used one last week, but that thing was fast. That thing was fast. You know, and I wished I'd have recorded it. I mean, it didn't take me no time to unload that thing. But we use different types of machinery. They use the skid steers here. You know, some people call them bobcats, but the official name for it is a skid steer. And, they got these fork blades on them, so the one guy, he acted like he couldn't do it. This other guy showed up. He had a skid steer on his trailer. It's got a little bit longer blade on it, and he actually got on the lift, the first guy, and actually started unloading it. And so he took the other one, and he's able to get it out. So they got these big beams that kind of hold this stuff in there, and you know, we had to use belly straps and ratchet straps and everything else. It was kind of a pain. So this is the stuff I was telling you about. This PB Blaster stuff right here. This stuff, it's a good thing to have if you drive flatbed. It's very good to have. If you use ratchet binders for your chains, ratchet straps, anything that you use, you know, your head. I even spray it on the tie down thing. You know, I spray it on that. It just makes it just lubricates it. It's a penetrating oil. It's better than WD-40. WD-40 will work for a little bit, but this right here works 10 times better. I mean, it does. It works a whole lot better. And I'm not being advertised by it. This is just what I use. I've been using it for years. And but I spray it on all my ratchet straps. It's just good to have for, you know, anything that you have to ratchet, you know, straps, not the straps itself, but, you know, the winches. You know, you just keep anything that's got a moving part to it. It's just good to spray them down, especially in the wintertime. If you drive up north, you spray, whenever you use them, take them off, shoot it with a little PB Blaster, and then roll it up, and then it's ready to go for the next one. You know, it'll be lubricated, and especially with it being in the side box, it'll stay warm. You know, and in the wintertime, I used to roll my straps. I used to take my straps off, roll them up, and I'd put them on the inside of the side box. That way they would, you know, because they would get stiff in the winter and everything else. But down here, it don't get cold enough to do all that. So it gets cold, but it don't get quite that cold. But anyway, I've run my mouth long enough about nothing. So I'm gonna drink me some Powerade. Hold on a second. Drink me some Powerade, come on. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you a story. I was working outside one time, and you know, you need to drink water, but when you're working outside, you need to keep you some Gatorade around. You know, water's good, but you need to have something with electrolytes in it, because what you're sweating out of your body, you know, is salts and electrolytes, and just other stuff. Well, Gatorade, Powerade is good. I don't think it's as good as Gatorade. Powerade's a little bit cheaper, but hey, it does good enough for what I need it for. But what I'm saying, I was working outside one time in the heat, and we had a couple cases of water out there, and I was drinking one after the other, it was coming out of me as fast as it was going in me, and I was still cramping up. Well, what I had done, even though I was drinking water, I was sweating it out of me. Well, I was not replenishing the electrolytes and the salts and the other stuff that I was losing. So there's no Gatorade commercial when it was like the outline of a person, and when they chug Gatorade, their whole body just turned green or orange or whatever, and it's like you're plugging. It's like it replenishes. Give an example of it replenishing what you're losing. And I was cramping up. My legs were cramping up. I was like, man. So I went down to the store, bought me either 2 or 3 Gatorades, of the regular size Gatorade, the big ones. Of course, they're not as big as like the glass ones I used to have. But I drank me a couple of them things real fast. I just chugged them down, like 2 of them, real fast. And it was like somebody just stuck a cord in me, and the cramps went away, and it worked that fast. So if you're working outside, if you're doing flatbed, if you're doing anything like that, water's good, but you need to keep them electrolytes in you, the salts. Gatorade is where it's at. You can use Powerade, and all that, but Gatorade's probably the best. Yeah, you need to drink water because water's a universal solvent. It'll get all the saliva and all that gunky stuff out of your throat. It'll wash all that down, and it'll actually hydrate your body. But you need to replenish the electrolytes. If you're sweating a whole lot, yeah, you need to drink some Gatorade. Probably not all Gatorade, but just for every 5 or 6 bottles of water you need to drink, you need to probably drink 1 Gatorade or whatever. I'm just saying, if you're out there working like that, that's just my opinion. So, that's not scientific. That's just, I didn't stay at the Holiday Inn Express last night either, so there you go. Anyway, we'll talk to y'all later. I don't run my mouth long enough. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.